And a good afternoon to everyone. 16 minutes past 5 o'clock. It's time now for live basketball action from WSAK. It's the Sullivan Redskins up against the Mount Pulaski, and that's in the Supersectional over Decatur. We're going to take you there live, and this broadcast brought to you in part by First National Bank of Sullivan, Sullivan Grain, The Index, Tom West Incorporated, Alexander Lumber, Sullivan Packing, State Bank of Arthur, Asherman Motors, The Decorator, Arcola Savings and Loan, Sisk's Buy-Right, Goodrich TV and Appliance, Graven's Insurance, J. Walker Chrysler, and the Atwood Buy-Right. And now to live action from Decatur, here's Lee Griesmer and Jim Bale.
Roosevelt Center here at the Millikan University. March Madness at its best, and I think maybe they got the March Madness from the weather we've had, Lee. Real poor weather, but we've got a whopping crowd, so we'll take on the Hilltoppers from Mount Pulaski. Lee?
It's Supersectional action time, and it's our Sullivan Redskins all set to do battle with the second-ranked team in the state, the Mount Pulaski Hilltoppers. We'll be back in 1 minute with a pregame show. Jim, the Sullivan fans have turned out en masse. On our right, it's nothing but a sea of red, whereas on our left, while we have the purple of the Mount Pulaski Hilltoppers. This evening, it's the meeting between the super underdogs of Sullivan with their 17-9 record versus the second-ranked team in the state, the Mount Pulaski Hilltoppers, with their record of 24 wins and 4 losses. And incidentally, Jim, they've won their last 14 in a row. The Sullivan Redskins are led by sharpshooting guards Tom Highland and Randy Ryder. They're averaging 16.7 and 16.2 points respectively. At center, it's Mean John Dean, who's been a tower of strength during the tournament action. John was hurt earlier in the year, didn't play the first half of the year due to a football injury, and he has really come into his own the latter part of the season, and especially during the tournament. Dean is averaging 11.4 points per game, but possibly more important is the fact that he's averaging better than 12, and as a matter of fact, almost 13 rebounds per game. Add Dean's outstanding defense, his ability to block shots, and his intimidation of opponents inside to his scoring and rebounding, and you begin to get an idea as to how important Dean is to this Redskin team. Rounding out the starting five is John McDevitt and Mike Wildman, and we don't want to forget Roger Burchard, who in recent games has been playing in a reserve role and doing the job very well. Other boys on the tournament squad include Guy Ingram, Brad Ray, Lyle Miller, Tim Roush, and David King Jr., Todd Lehman and Scott Lane, sophomores, round out the Redskin squad. Jim, the Redskins are meeting a formidable opponent this evening in the Mount Pulaski Hilltoppers. WSAK Radio Sports talked with Coach Wagner about the Hilltoppers earlier today. Here's Coach Wagner.
Well, this is Larry Wagner, basketball coach at Sullivan, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Mount Pulaski Ball Club. They're an extremely fine outfit. They have some seasoned individuals that have had the state tournament experience before. I think they only have one starter, but they've got 2 or 3 other boys that have seen a lot of action in the state tournament. Of course, everyone has heard about Jeff Clemens. He's a 6'2" or 6'3" individual who has scored over 2,000 career points. He's been an all-stater the last 3 years. He has led Mount Pulaski the last 3 years into the state tournament at Champaign. He does a lot of scoring for him. He rebounds well for him, and he's an extremely good talent. They also have a boy by the name of Mason. He's a 5'9" guard. He's a streak shooter. If he starts out shooting well, he will, in most cases, finish shooting well. His shooting range is not just from 15, but he puts it up from 20 to 25 quite frequently. And so he has to be contained early in the game, we feel. The other boy who is probably one of their main scorers is a boy named Lowe. Now, he was their 6th man last year, and if any of you remember seeing Mount Pulaski play in the state tournament at Champaign, you'll remember that he was their leading scorer in the second game up there. I think he had 21 or 22 points. So he's an individual who can score for him. He also rebounds well. They've got their big kid by the name of Victor Clark. He is 6'5". He's a senior. He doesn't score an awful lot for him, but he does hit the boards, and he plays the back man on their 1-2-2 zone defense. His brother does not start, and they very rarely play the two together. His brother is also 6'5". He jumps better than the older one, and I guess he is probably the more talented of the two. However, he's just a sophomore, so they don't start him. The other starter this last half of the season is a boy by the name of Cyrillic. Again, he's not the big score for him, but he does seem to get a lot of hands on a lot of passes, deflects a lot of passes, and so his main responsibility is to point their defense and to be more or less a mainstay defensively.
Okay, we're back here at Griswold Center, where the Sullivan Redskins are now gathering around their coach. The Mount Pulaski boys are moving to the side to gather around their coach. And we're still about 5 minutes away from game time, according to the clock. Now we're ready for the national anthem. Well, fans, I thought we were ready for the national anthem. Everybody's at attention, but we still don't have any national anthem. The boys are over on the side. Okay, they're asking for an expert to come. We might make a slight comparison of the two teams. We're very similar in one way. Both clubs have outstanding shooters. Jeff Clements of Mount Pulaski and Bill Mason of the Hilltoppers are fine outside shooters. And, of course, the Redskins counter with Tom Highland and Randy Ryder, who are hitting 50 and 51 points respectively from the field. Okay, here's our national anthem. Our national anthem. Continue with a quick comparison of the two ball clubs. In the post, the Hilltoppers have the edge on size, but the Redskins have the edge as far as jumping is concerned, as John Dean rebounds like a boy 6'6". At the forward positions, the Hilltoppers have us in size, as they have Lowell, who was their sixth man last year, and perhaps you remember him at the state tournament. He scored over 20 points in one ball game as a sixth man. He has good size. He's around 6 foot, and he's a good shooter and rebounder. We counter with McDevitt and Wildman. McDevitt's a fine shooter and tough on defense, but he's a little bit shorter than Lowell. So maybe the edge goes to Mount Pulaski just a little bit. Cyrillic, their ball hawk, has quick hands, scores well on occasions, and in general is a thorn in the sides of the Hilltoppers' opponents. Ryder and Highland are pretty good ball hawkers on their own, so I think it's a toss-up. Actually, I look for a pretty good ball game. Jim, are you about ready with the starting lineup?
You bet, Lee. We'll go with the starting lineups for the Sullivan Redskins, as they are the visiting squad here this evening, wearing their dark uniform. Randy Ryder starting at one guard, wearing number 15. Tom Highland, the other guard, wearing 33 on his traveling jersey. John Dean, number 41, jumping center and working the boards for the Redskins tonight. John McDevitt, number 35 at one forward position, and Big Mike Wildman wearing number 55 at the other forward position. And as you Redskins fans know, Coach Larry Wagner for the Sullivan Redskins. For the Hilltoppers from Mount Pulaski, starting at one forward, All-State Jeff Clements, 6'2" senior, wearing number tonight, Bill Mason, 5'9" senior. The other forward, 6-foot senior Mike Lowe, wearing number 32. Center for the Toppers from Mount Pulaski, 6'4" senior Victor Clark. And the other guard for Mount Pulaski Hilltoppers, 5'11" senior Mike Cyrillic, wearing number 12. So, Coach Ed Butkovich for the Hilltoppers with Jeff Clements, Bill Mason, Mike Lowe, Victor Clark, and Mike Cyrillic starting the Supersectional game here at Milliken tonight.
To Mount Pulaski. Bill Mason has it outside the Sullivan 2-3 zone defense. It goes to Lowe on the side. Back to Mason at the head of the key. To Clements on the right. He goes up in the corner, deep in the corner. It's no good. Rebound comes off in the hands of Clark. Victor Clark puts it up, no good. And rebound John Dean. Dean to Ryder, and Ryder bringing it up across the timeline. He's being picked up there by Mike Cyrillic. Ryder's between the circles. He moves this side. McDevitt in the corner. Back to Ryder, to the right-hand side to Highland. Highland with the ball above his head. To Ryder. Ryder's going to pop from about 15. It's good. Randy Ryder puts the Sullivan Redskins out in the lead. With 20 seconds gone in this ball game, Sullivan leads 2-0. Jeff Clements at the head of the key. Sullivan in that 2-3 zone. He goes to the corner to Mason. Mason pops from deep in the corner. No good. Rebound, top ball head. John McDevitt picked it up. Hands off to Randy Ryder. Ryder with the basketball, bringing it across the timeline. He's guarded there by Cyrillic. He's on the left-hand side. Now he moves back ahead of the key to the right-hand side to Tom Highland. Back to Ryder. Ryder is looking back out to Highland. Highland way across to McDevitt. McDevitt moves back out, now out of danger. So Highland's the head of the key. Highland's moving to the right. He's into the free throw area along the baseline of McDevitt. McDevitt takes his man to travel with the basketball. Trigger man will beat Bill Mason into Clements. Clements is taking it right up the center of the court. Way down the side to Mike Cyrillic. Cyrillic back to Clements. Almost stolen there by McDevitt. It's knocked off of Clements' hands, and it is Sullivan's basketball. I'd say McDevitt made up for his blunder, Jim, because he got the ball right back for us that time. Okay, the ball comes into McDevitt. It goes back to Ryder, and it looks like they're going to half-court press on it. No trouble as it comes across to McDevitt. Back to Randy Ryder at the head of the key. To the left-hand side to Highland. Highland goes in the corner. Back out to Ryder. Ryder eyes the hoop. He's going to fire from out there. He missed it. Rebound comes off in the hands of Bill Mason. Mason down the left-hand side. It goes to Lowe. Lowe deep in the corner. Back to Mason. Back to Lowe in the corner. Lowe eyes the hoop. Back out to Mason on the left wing. Back to the corner to Lowe. Lowe fires. It's good. Okay. Mount Pulaski is pressing full court. They have this zone press. It goes to Randy Ryder. Ryder's across the timeline. He's two-timed and the ball stolen from him. It goes to Mike Lowe. Lowe at the head of the key. He fires. It's no good. Rebound. Wildman comes off with the ball, and there's a foul call. And it's going to be Sullivan's basketball, I believe. Jim, did you get the foul?
Mike Lowe, Lee. Mike Lowe.
Mike Lowe committed a foul. So Sullivan will be inbounding the ball. It comes into Highland at half court. He's got a 2-on-1 now. He's driving. He's going underneath to John Dean. John Dean lays it up good. Beautiful basketball. The Sullivan Redskins broke the press with very little trouble that time. Jeff Clements has the ball. He's in the free throw area. He goes up for a shot. Fires good. He got that shot over John Dean, and Dean was up in the air a mile, but Clements is one tough basketball player. They are pressing in the backcourt. Randy Ryder has the ball, and he tries to feed up. It's kicked out of bounds, so it'll be Sullivan's basketball on the side. It's a 4-4 ball game. 5:27 to go in this first quarter of play. As inbounding the ball way over to Mike Wildman. He passed it back to Ryder, and Ryder brings it across the timeline. He's being two-timed out near midcourt, but he gets away. It goes into the center to Highland. Highland fires. No good. Rebound comes off the hands of Bill Mason. Mason to Cyrillic. It goes to Clements. Clements is ahead of the key. To the right-hand side to Cyrillic. And Cyrillic traveled with the basketball, and Sullivan's going to have a chance to take the lead again. 4-4, tie basketball game. 5:08 to go in this first quarter of play. The inbounds man is Wildman, and Wildman almost threw it away, but Tom Highland has it. Highland has it in the backcourt. It comes up way up to John Dean. Dean across the timeline to McDevitt, and McDevitt he's still got the dribble now to the head of the key to Randy Ryder. Ryder between the circles. He's moving to his left. Now he's got the ball back out on the wing. The corner to McDevitt. McDevitt fires from the corner. No good. Rebound. Tom Highland. Highland underneath to Dean, and Dean put it in. A beautiful pass by Tom Highland. It's 6-4 in favor of the Sullivan Redskins, and there's a violation at this end, and the Mount Pulaski boys set to cross the line. The Sullivan fans are going a little bit wild, fans, and I think I am too, Jim. Sullivan's playing fine basketball. Highland went up for a shot, but he spotted Dean underneath, and he hit him with it. It goes way out the head of the key to Ryder. Now Randy has it back. Randy comes to the corner to McDevitt. McDevitt traveled with the ball again, but this time it wasn't called. Highland has it. It goes into Dean. Dean goes up for a short jumper. It's good. He hit a third one. 3 in a row for John Dean. It's 8-4 in favor of the Sullivan Redskins. And if these kids are tight, Jim, I'm crazy. That's right. Loose as can be out there. Clemens has it. He's going to fire from 30, and there's a foul on McDevitt. Clemens went up for a shot from way out. He was fouled by McDevitt. Into the ball game comes Steve Hahn for the Mount Pulaski team, and out of the ball game goes Cyrillic, the 5'11 senior. At the line is Clemens. So far tonight, Clemens has one basket. He's bouncing the ball. He's an all-stater. He put the ball on his way. It's no good. It's still 8-4 in favor of the Redskins. Clemens gets the second one. Nisson's on its way. It's good. 8-5 Redskins. 4:19 to go as Mount Pulaski is pressing in the backcourt. Randy Ryder has it to Wildman. Wildman almost, he had the ball stolen. He threw the ball away. Clemens stole it. He's in the corner, and there's a foul on Randy Ryder. I didn't get a chance to say this before the game, but on my notes I had that if we can beat the press of Mount Pulaski, we can beat Mount Pulaski. So far it has bothered us a little, but we're still in the lead 8-5. Clemens fires from deep in the corner and hit it. That's 5 points for Clemens. 8-7 in favor of Sullivan. Ryder to Wildman in the backcourt. Randy now is taken across the timeline to Highland. Highland underneath to McDevitt, and McDevitt traveled with the basketball. Mount Pulaski has the ball. Chance to take the lead for the first time in the ball game. It's 8-7 in favor of Sullivan. It goes deep in the corner. Back out to Clemens. Clemens fires from 30 feet. This one's short, and the rebound, John Dean. Dean clears it to Randy Ryder. Ryder's bringing it up across the timeline, but he goes way down to McDevitt. McDevitt makes the move. He goes up for a shot. He has the shot blocked from behind. A nice bit of defensive work by Mike Lowe. It goes to Lowe. Lowe fires, and Mount Pulaski leading 9-8. It comes into Ryder. Ryder way across the court to John McDevitt. McDevitt back to Wildman, to Ryder, and Ryder brings it across the timeline. He's on the dribble. It comes to this side to McDevitt. McDevitt with the ball. It goes to corner to Ryder. Ryder fires from deep in the corner. No good. Tom Highland puts it back in. Beautiful offensive rebound by Tom Highland as the Sullivan Redskins lead 10-9. 3 minutes to go. As way down the court, it goes to the new boy in there, Jim. Hahn. Steve Hahn. It goes to the corner to Mason, and Mason hits from deep in the corner. It's a 11-10 ball game in favor of Mount Pulaski. Randy Ryder has the ball in the backcourt. He's bringing it up near the timeline. It goes to Wildman. Wildman takes it across. Now to Ryder. Ryder has it outside the defense. It's a 1-2-2 zone. Highland has in the corner. Inside to John Dean. John Dean puts it in the air. He hit another one. That's 4 in a row for John Dean, and give Highland another beautiful assist. It's 12-11 in favor of the Redskins as Clemens brings that ball down. Mason has it fired from way out. It's no good, and Highland, there's a foul inside, and it's against Mount Pulaski. It's on Victor Clark, right. So it will be out of bounds. Sullivan leads 12-11 with 2:21 to go in the first quarter of play as Randy Ryder brings the ball up slow as it comes across to McDevitt, and McDevitt takes it across the timeline. Now Ryder has it out near the center. He's between the circles now, moving to his left. It goes to the corner to Highland. Well, at any rate, it was headed toward the corner to Highland, and Steve Hahn kicked that ball out of bounds. Now Ryder has it inside. Ryder outside the head of the key to McDevitt. McDevitt into the corner to Randy Ryder. Ryder fakes his man. He's being two-timed. It goes to McDevitt. McDevitt to this side to Highland. Highland fires from 15 foot. It's 14-11 as Tom Highland hits him along the baseline. 1:50 to go in this first quarter of play as Clemens has the ball, only as Hahn has the ball, and he traveled with it. A good bit of defense on the part of John McDevitt.
Right, Lee. Very fine defense.
Randy Ryder has the ball in the backcourt. He's met there by Mason. It goes to McDevitt, and McDevitt takes it across the timeline to Randy Ryder. Sullivan leads 14-11. A three-point lead with 1:37 to go. It goes to Highland. Highland is looking. It goes in the corner to Ryder. Ryder fires from deep in the corner. It's no good. Rebound. Almost stolen by McDevitt. Saved and stolen back by McDevitt, but he stepped on the sideline as he stole the basketball. It's going to be out of bounds. Now Pulaski, but credit McDevitt was a lot of hustle out there, fans. Clemens has the basketball. 1:22 to go on the quarter. Sullivan leads by 3. Clemens has the ball. He scored 5 points. He goes to side to Mason. Back out to Clemens. Clemens going to dribble into the free throw area. He goes up for a short jumper and hit it. 14-13 as Jeff Clemens is showing why he's the all-stater that he is. Sullivan with a little bit of trouble in the backcourt, but now Highland has it. He passes under, trying to feed Dean underneath, but John was one step ahead of it, so it's out of bounds. Now Pulaski. Tom had the shot at the free throw line again.
Not too many passes, Lee.
Yeah, he thought he saw Dean loose, though. It goes to the corner to Mason. Mason fires from deep in the corner. It's good, and now Pulaski takes the lead. 15-14. Sullivan has the ball in the backcourt. McDevitt to Wildman, to Ryder, to Wildman, to Ryder, and Ryder brings it across the timeline. Ryder out near the center line. It comes into John Dean. John Dean fires, and John finally missed one. Tip, Highland. Highland, beautiful left-handed tip. Sullivan leads 16-15 with 30 seconds to go in this first quarter of play as Clemens drives down the sideline. He has that ball knocked away from him by McDevitt. Now he fires anyway. It's no good. Rebound underneath, and there's a foul on Tom Highland. Fans were rebounding against some pretty big kids under there, and that kid was 6'5", and Tom tried to get that ball when he brought it down, but instead he got the wrist instead of the ball, so it is out of bounds. Now Pulaski with 21 seconds to go. Sullivan has a 1-point lead. Mason will be the out-of-bounds man. He passes it into Clemens. Clemens is looking for a shot with 18 seconds to go. Mason has it. Clemens has it. Clemens fires from about 30. It's no good. Rebound as John Dean. There's another foul, I think the foul's on Tom Highland. No, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Highland.
That's the second foul on Tom Highland, and it's just a matter of trying to rebound with some awfully big kids in there. This time at the line, it will be Victor Clark, the 6'4" senior, will be at the line shooting 2. Sullivan does lead by 1. It's 16-15 with 12 seconds to go in the quarter. Victor Clark at the line. He eyes the hoop. It's on its way. Tie ball game. 16-16 in a real exciting first quarter of play. Let's see. I think there might be a little dampness out there, and the official's going to wipe the floor clean. There were a couple of boys on the court, and I have an idea, even though it's early in the game, that there is a little perspiration out there, Jim. Okay. Victor Clark has a chance to put the Hilltoppers into the lead. They've led a couple times in the ball game by 1 point, but Sullivan has bounced back to take the lead. But now it is a tie basketball game. 12 seconds to go as the ball's in the air. No good. John Dean gets the rebound. He clears it to McDevitt. With 9 seconds to go, Highland has it. The ball is stolen by Clemens. Clemens with 5 seconds, 4 seconds. He fires from 30 feet. It's no good. Rebound with 1 second to go. No good. As the time runs out, it's 16-16 at the end of the quarter.
Good first quarter, Lee. 16-16. The Redskins out-rebounded the Hilltoppers by 2, 8-6 that first quarter. So if we can keep Johnny Dean and Tom Highland out of trouble, it's going to be an interesting game.
Okay, it's Dean against Clemens, and we're ready for the quarter action, and the ball goes to Sullivan. It goes to Highland. Highland has it. He goes up from 18 foot. No good. John Dean almost gets the rebound, but it comes off in the hands of Victor Clark. Quickly down court, it's Mason. It goes to Clark. Clark fires from the corner. No good. Rebound, Tom Highland. Tom Highland rebounds the ball to Randy Ryder. Ryder's bringing it up across the timeline as the Hilltoppers are falling off of that pressing defense, Jim. It goes in the corner to Ryder inside to Wildman, and Wildman works himself under for a shot. He scored, but he stepped on the end line. I believe they called it a travel, Jim. Anyway, it is Mount Pulaski's basketball. Bill Mason inbounds the ball to Clemens. Clemens is taking it up across the timeline. Clemens so far tonight has a total of 7 points. It goes to Bill Mason. Mason at the head of the key. It goes to the right-hand side to Mike Lowe. Inside, it goes to the big man, and there is a foul on Randy Ryder. As they were sagging back in on Victor Clark, there was a foul on Ryder. So Clark will be at the line. So far tonight, Clark has hit 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. He'll be there with a chance to put Mount Pulaski into the lead, and here comes Wayne Clark, the 6'5 sophomore. He's coming in for Hahn. The story is that they don't play these Clark boys together very much, but they are right now, and maybe it's because we're out-rebounding them. The ball's in the air. Mount Pulaski misses as Sullivan has the basketball. Highland has it in the backcourt. Ryder now has it as Mount Pulaski is back in the press as Highland brings it across the timeline. Randy Ryder has it out near the center line. He's moving this side. It goes to McDevitt. McDevitt with the ball above his head, way across to Tom Highland. Highland fakes his man, doesn't get the shot. Now it goes out to McDevitt to this side to Ryder. Ryder fires from 15. It's no good. John Dean puts it in. A beautiful tip by John Dean. Jim Hanley, I can't say too much about him. He was upright at net, even with the rim, and nursed that ball in. It's 18-16. Sullivan as Jeff Clemens has the ball out near the head of the key. As Sullivan just stole the basketball. Randy Ryder deflected it. John Dean picked it up, and Sullivan has the ball. Ryder brings it across the timeline. He's working to the left, inside to Dean, and Dean travels with the ball. He hit it, but they call it a travel first. He got the ball off balance as far as that's concerned, and before he could regain his balance, he did travel with it. Jeff Clemens with the ball. 6:27 to go. As Mount Pulaski almost lost that basketball again. Clemens has it as Sullivan is all over him, and Clemens does Randy Ryder. Good defense on the part of Randy Ryder. Beautiful defense. There's timeout on the court. It's 18-16 Sullivan. Okay, back to action. Johnny Dean just hit another, his 12th point of the evening. It's 20-16 in favor of Sullivan. Clemens with the ball at the head of the key. Deep in the corner, almost stolen. Lowe has it now. Goes in, John Dean bothered the man, but I'm not sure. Victor Clark, I believe, will give it to him anyway. It's 20-18 in favor of the Redskins as Ryder has the ball in the backcourt. Across to McDevitt, the corner to Highland. Highland fires from 18 foot. It's good. Tom Highland hit from 18 foot deep in the corner for his 8th point of the evening. As Clemens brings the ball up, it's Sullivan 22-18. Mount Pulaski, the ball goes inside. It's no good. Rebound spot for Dean Stice. As finally, Wildman comes off with the basketball. Sullivan's battling some big men in there, but they are battling off through you. Tom Highland has the ball in the corner. He's looking for an open man. He goes back out to McDevitt at the head of the key to Ryder. Ryder fires from the head of the key. It's good! 24-18. Sullivan leads by 6. There's 5:02 to go in the corner. It goes way down to Mason. Back to Clemens, and I hope he fires from there, but the ball is goes inside. Dean rebounds. Blocks one shot. He blocks another. It goes underneath for Lowe, and Lowe lays it in. John Dean blocked 2 straight shots there, but Lowe picks up the basketball for a garbage basket. Now Pulaski's pressing in the backcourt. So far, it really hasn't bothered the Sullivan Redskins. It comes across to Tom Highland now. Highland in the free throw area. He goes up for a short jumper. He hit it! It's 26-20 as Tom Highland hit his 10th point of the evening. As Mount Pulaski brings the ball up, Clemens has it. It goes to the side to Victor Clark. It tries to feed inside, and Dean steals the basketball. Way down to McDevitt. McDevitt has the ball. It goes back to Randy Ryder with 4:12 to go in the half. It's a 6-point Sullivan lead. A 1-2-2 zone for, it goes inside to Dean. It goes to Highland. Highland fires from the side. No good. Rebound John McDevitt. He works under for a shot. He fakes his man, goes up, and there's a charging foul on John McDevitt. Into the ball game comes Mike Cyrillic for the Hilltoppers. Out of the ball game goes Bill Mason. 4 minutes exactly to go in the second quarter of play. Sullivan has a 6-point lead. It's 26-20 as Clemens, the All-Stater, brings the ball up. He's looking at the head of the key. Into the corner, and they lose the ball out of bounds. Jeff Clemens made a turnover at Sullivan's basketball. Mount Pulaski is pressing in the backcourt. The trigger man will be Mike Wellman. It comes into Randy Ryder. Ryder to Highland on the left side. Highland's bringing it up now. Slowly it comes to Ryder. Ryder to Wildman to Ryder. It's almost stolen in the backcourt. The ball was deflected, but they gave the ball to Mount Pulaski. And Sullivan was just a little bit too deliberate that time, Jim. It's Cyrillic to Clemens. Clemens goes clear to the corner, and McDevitt is all over him. It goes inside. It's knocked away by Mike Wildman. Out of bounds. It's going to be Mount Pulaski's ball. Into the ball game. Well, we have a new man this time, I believe. No, Steve Hahn comes back in the game. Hahn's been into the game before. Clemens has it way out to Cyrillic. Cyrillic to the left-hand side. It goes across court to Low. Low fires from 10 foot. It bounces. No good. Rebound. Tipped in. Good. And let's give that to 54 Hahn, I guess, Jim. I don't know. Highland has the basketball as does the travel. No. I don't know if you heard that no under all this noise, but Highland didn't travel with the ball. Anyway, it's out of bounds. Unprejudiced fans. It's out of bounds to the Hilltoppers. Clemens has the basketball. It's 26-22. They try to feed inside, and Highland gets the ball after it's tipped there by Mike Wildman. Highland has it. Ryder in the backcourt. Ryder's bringing it up slowly, and they're having trouble in the backcourt. Highland way down to John Dean. Dean back out to Ryder now. As with 2:56 to go in the quarter, the half, Sullivan has a 26-22 lead. It goes to John McDevitt. McDevitt fast along the baseline. It's good. 28-22 as John McDevitt coolly can one from the baseline. Quickly up court is Mike Lowe. And they're trying to alley-oop that ball inside, and they fail to wreck it with Dean. From way outside, Clemens hits. 28-24. As Wildman has it in the backcourt. It comes into Highland. It's stolen in there by Mount Pulaski. Low fires. It's no good. Rebound by Wildman. It goes to Randy Ryder. Ryder in the backcourt as there's timeout on the court with 2:19 to go. Sullivan has a 4-point lead.
Lee, the Redskins are starting to stand around a little bit against that press, and Coach Larry Wagner wanted to get them on the move. So here we go.
Okay, the trigger man will be Mike Wildman, and we are at the far end of the court on the side, and he's looking for an open man. It goes to McDevitt to Highland, and Highland takes it across the timeline. He's going to get a shot. He's going to drive for the lay-in. He has that ball rejected by Wayne Clark. Nice bit of defense by Clark. Clemens has the basketball. He's working into the center free throw line along the baseline to Clark. It goes inside and it's stolen there by Wildman. Nice defense on the part of Mike Wildman. Randy Ryder has the ball. He's bringing it up. He's being 2 times. He gets the ball across. He's at the head of the key. It goes to McDevitt. Back to Ryder. Ryder with the ball at the head of the key. He's moving to the side. It goes to Wildman. Wildman along the baseline to McDevitt. Back out to Ryder. Ryder fires from about 18 foot. It's good. Randy Ryder hits from the outside. It's 30-24. Quickly up court is Mike Lowe. Lowe to the corner. It goes to Cyrillic. Cyrillic back to Lowe. The head of the key to Clemens. Clemens with the ball above his head. It goes in side. Well, they're trying to work it inside, and they do to the big man. He blew it. McDevitt, well, let's say Wildman got the rebound. He passed it to Highland. Now Highland has the ball at the head of the key. He goes along the baseline to Dean. Dean goes under for it, and it's rejected, but he's fouled. Mike Lowe. Wayne Clark was a mile in the air, but he did foul John Dean, and Dean's going to be at the line shooting too. Butkovich didn't like that call, but I'll tell you, they were both up there, Jim. Dean will be at the line. Dean so far has a total of 12 points. He's not hitting too well from the line this year, but he's come fast at the end of the season. He hit this one. 13 points for John Dean. He gets another one. It's 31-24. 32-24. He hit nothing but the net. Mason's back in the ball game. Clemens has the ball way down to Lowe. Lowe on the left wing. Back out to Clemens. Sullivan's 2-3 zone is definitely bothering the Hilltoppers. Mason fires from 30 feet. No good. Wildman gets the rebound. He clears it to Tom Highland. It goes to Randy Ryder. Ryder to Highland. Highland's still in the backcourt. He fakes. He's looking to Ryder. Ryder, well, he tries to throw it down court, and it is deflected out of bounds. It'll be Sullivan's basketball. 32-24. There's 51 seconds to go in the first half of play as Sullivan is playing inspired basketball against these Hilltoppers. The ball comes into McDevitt. McDevitt's being two-timed and traveled with the basketball. It'll be out of bounds. Clemens passed the ball into Cyrillic. Cyrillic, the 5'11 senior, brings it up across the timeline. To the right-hand side to Mason. Way out. It comes to Cyrillic. Cyrillic's the head of the key. It goes to the side to Clemens. Clemens is about 30 feet away from the basket. He makes the move. It goes to the corner now to Mike Lowe. Mike Lowe fires it short. Rebound. Randy Ryder comes off the ball. He's bringing it up across the timeline. He's being two-timed in the backcourt, and he's fouled. He's fouled by Mike Cyrillic. I believe it's still going to be out of bounds, Sullivan, as that's only the fourth foul on the Hilltoppers. That's 5?
That's right.
Well, all right, let's wait and see. All right, it is a 1-and-1. I didn't think so, but it is a 1-and-1. Ryder's at the line. He's hitting 75% from the line this year. He's averaging 16 points a ball game. And he has been one cool kid out there this afternoon. Ryder fires from the line. It's good. 33-24 in favor of the Sullivan Redskins. Randy gets the second one. He's bouncing the ball. Eyes the hoop. It's on its way. It is good. 34-24. The ball comes into Mike Lowe. Mike Lowe up across the timeline. He's met there by Randy Ryder. He's at the head of the key. It goes to the corner to Bill Mason. Mason fires from about 30 feet. It's good. 34-26 as Mason hit from a mile out. Sullivan's having trouble in the backcourt. Wildman has it. It comes to McDevitt, and McDevitt's across the timeline. He picks up his dribble. It comes to Randy Ryder out near the head of the key with 9 seconds to go. Ryder's to the corner to Highland. Highland makes the move. Underneath to McDevitt. McDevitt lays it in. Good. A beautiful, beautiful basketball, McDevitt. And an equally beautiful, beautiful feed by Tom Highland. It's halftime here at Griswold Center. 36-26 in favor of the Sullivan Redskins. Okay, we're back here at halftime at Griswold Center, Jim. I can't even talk. That was as an exciting a half of basketball as I've ever seen. Now, of course, we're a little bit prejudiced, and the Sullivan Redskins are out on the lead, and maybe that's one of the best halves I've ever seen. But these Redskins have been playing tremendous basketball. The press hasn't bothered us nearly as much as I thought it would. Now, we've had a few turnovers as a result of the press, but at the same time, we've gotten some easy baskets as a result of it. So I think probably it evens up pretty much, Jim. So as far as I'm concerned, the press hasn't really hurt us. The Redskins have been hotter than fire from the field. I don't know what our percentage is. That's one of the things we don't keep, but I'll tell you one thing, it has to be pretty good. Jim, do you have anything to say?
Well, Lee, I'm a little bit like you. I'm almost as excited, or in fact, I think probably more excited than the boys. I tell you, the Redskins have shown a real fine first half of basketball out there, as the 10-point lead would attest to. It is 36-26 here at halftime, and the Redskins are up by 10. Now, we have to remember that the Hilltoppers from Mount Pulaski have always, or all of this year, have been a second-half team. Down in the sectional finals at Shelbyville against Pawnee, Mount Pulaski was down by 5 at halftime, and they were down by 3 at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they proceeded to score 29 points in that fourth quarter. So by no means is this basketball game over, but it has been a real fine first half of basketball, especially by the Sullivan Redskins. We'll be back with some more halftime information after this. 36-26 is the halftime score here at Griswold Center in Decatur at Millikan University in the Supersectional game between the Redskins and the Hilltoppers from Mount Pulaski. Let's take a look now at the individual breakdowns for the first half. For the Redskins, 36 points. Randy Ryder with 8, 3 field goals, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line for Randy's 8 points here in the first half. Tom Highland with 10, and all 5 of Tom's coming from the field on 5 field goals. John Dean, the game's leading scorer for the first half, with a big 14 points and a total of 6 rebounds for Johnny Dean. John is 2 for 2 from the free throw line and 6 field goals for his 14 points. John McDevitt with 4 points rounds out the scoring for the Redskins in the first half. Johnny with 2 field goals in the second quarter. So it's 14 for John Dean, 10 for Tom Highland, 8 for Randy Ryder, and 4 for John McDevitt here in the first half. Mike Wildman is tied with John Dean in the rebounding department with 6 rebounds also, and he got 4 of those in this second quarter. So a good rebounding job by Big Mike Wildman. That's the 36 points for the Sullivan Redskins. 16 in the first quarter, 20 in the second quarter. For the Toppers, Jeff Clements with 9 points, and he scored 7 of those in the first quarter. He has 1 field goal in the second quarter, and that's it. So 9 points for Jeff Clements, and he is the Toppers' leading scorer for the first half of action. Bill Mason has 6 points, all 6 from the field, 3 buckets, and all of his from outside that 2-3 zone defense of the Redskins from 18-20 feet. Mike Lowe with 6 also. Mike picking his up from the baseline against that 2-3 zone. The big 6'4" center, Victor Clark, has 3. He's 1 out of 3 from the free throw line and 1 bucket from the field. Steve Hahn, who came in late in the first quarter and played about half of the second quarter, has 2 points on an offensive tip-in for his 2 points in this first half. So it's Jeff Clements with 9, Bill Mason and Mike Lowe with 6, Victor Clark with 3, and Steve Hahn with 2. That's the 26 points for the Hilltoppers from Mount Pulaski. 16 in the first quarter and 10 only in the second quarter. So it's 36-26 here at halftime. The Redskins over the Hilltoppers. Lee, not only are the Redskins up on the scoreboard by 10 points, they are also winning the rebounding battle against these taller Hilltoppers by an 18-10 mark here at the end of the first half. So 8 more rebounds for the Redskins than the Hilltoppers. Sullivan is 4 for 4 from the free throw line, while Mount Pulaski is 2 out of 5. So all phases of the game this first half go in favor of the Redskins.
Right, Jim. There's one more place where we have them outdone. We hit 59% from the field on 16 of 27, and several of those were from the outside, while Mount Pulaski hit 41.9%. Jim, I did a little bit of research, and I'm going to quickly give it to you because I called Doc Butler this morning to find out about the last team that went to the state tournament from Sullivan, and he said it was back in 1917. So thanks to Dr. Butler, we have a little bit of information on that team. Members of that team, the first team was Russell Arnold, Hubert Tabor, Arthur Baker, George Dunscombe, and DeVere Frederick. On the second team, William McCarthy, Bert McCune, Bert Wagner, Oris Gifford, and Ray Jeffers. And then 3 boys at subs, Becky Whitfield, Lee Cochran, and Lee Roughton. So it has been a long time, Jim, and we're making the most of it, it seems to me like. The first half has been a tremendous first half, fans, especially from the Sullivan Redskins viewpoint. We've been playing that 2-3 zone. They have been having to shoot from outside. They're hitting, I'm sure, under their season's average, as they're hitting only, well, it's under 42%, and I think they're better shooters than that, so the zone has bothered them. And I think another factor in this 10-point lead has been the fact that they've tried to feed inside, Jim, and they haven't gotten the job done. We've deflected that ball. I think probably we have 5 or 6 steals on balls that they tried to feed inside and was deflected and picked up by the Sullivan Redskins. Mike Wildman has been especially alert in there, picking up 2 or 3 of those. Another thing about Wildman, he's gotten a few rebounds simply because he's been in position, Jim.
That's right.
He doesn't jump very well, but he's a smart kid out there, and he's gotten his rebounds by position. The rest of the boys' team has been tremendous on offense, and he's been a tower of strength on that defense, too. Highland and Ryder, they've played like they played all year. They don't seem to be bothered a bit this evening by the pressure. I think you and I are bothered more by the pressure than those kids are. So it has been a tremendous first half from the standpoint of the Sullivan Redskins. As Jim mentioned, we have a second half to go. The Hilltoppers have been known to be a second half ball club. But at the same time, Jim, we played some of our better ball in the second half too. So if both teams are playing their good basketball, we're still going to win the ball game because we have been known to play some real fine ball too. The buzzer sounded. We'll be back in 1 minute. He's fallen off of that pressing defense. Ryder has it in the corner. He's being two-timed. He goes into Dean. Dean back out to Highland. Highland goes into the free throw area. He goes up for a shot. It's no good. Rebound Mount Pulaski way down the court to Mason. Mason's cut off. It goes under two. It's stolen there by Ryder. Knocked out of bounds by Ryder. Hahn had that basketball. Ryder went for it at the waist and knocked the ball out of bounds. It'll be Mount Pulaski's ball. It comes into the big Wayne Clark. Way to Bill Mason in the corner. Mason fires. No good. Rebound. John Dean fouls. The ball, it'll be out of bounds, Mount Pulaski. As Dean picked up the foul. That's John's first foul of the evening. It comes into Clemens. Clemens deep in the corner. He's looking inside. Now it comes along the baseline to Lowe. Back out to Clemens. Clemens fires from way outside. It's good. 36-26. Now Mount Pulaski is in that pressing defense. It goes to Wildman. Into Dean. Back to Ryder. Way down to court to Highland. As Highland made a fake. Now it goes back out to Randy. Randy tries to pass the ball to Highland on the side. It's kicked, and it will be Sullivan's basketball. We played a minute in the second half of Tom Highland will be the trigger man, as Mount Pulaski has drawn the only blood of this half. Ryder moves the ball down the left-hand side. It goes to McDevitt on the left wing. McDevitt, the corner to Ryder. Ryder fires from deep in the corner. It's good. Randy Ryder tipped that ball from the corner. Mike Lowe brings the ball up across the timeline. Sullivan in that 2-3 zone defense. He goes to Clemens on the right. He's driving the baseline. He goes up for a short jumper. It's good, as Jeff Clemens is really taking over here for a moment. He has 13 points. He scored 4 this half. It goes into Dean to McDevitt. McDevitt across the timeline as Sullivan has solved the press with no trouble at all. Highland has the ball. It goes inside to Wildman. Wildman has the ball knocked out of his hands inside. It's going to be out of bounds to Sullivan Redskins. 38-30 in favor of Sullivan. As now Randy Ryder has the ball. Highland passes way out front to Ryder. Ryder is between the circles. Dean has it. Dean fires from 15. Good. Randy Ryder fed John Dean, and Dean hit his 16th point of the evening. 40-30 in favor of the Redskins, as Randy Ryder almost steals that basketball. He got a hand on it and then touched it just before it went out of bounds. Mike Cyrillic's going to come back into the ball game as Bill Mason leaves. And Mason's the sharpshooter from the outside, but he hasn't been that sharp this afternoon. Okay, Mount Pulaski has the ball. It goes inside, now to the corner to Mike Lowe. Lowe fires, no good. Tom Highland gets the rebound. Highland taking the ball up himself, and he's almost fouled. Now he picks it up, hands it to Randy Ryder. Ryder fakes his man. He goes across the timeline. Along the baseline is stolen by Jeff Clemens. Clemens is driving. It goes ahead, and it's out of bounds off the hands of Mike Cyrillic. Mount Pulaski was trying to run, and that time it didn't work out. They threw the ball away. Sullivan's basketball, 5:55 to go in the third quarter of play. As, let's see, Hahn comes out of the game. In the backcourt, it's Randy Ryder. Ryder with the basketball way across the court to McDevitt. McDevitt takes it across the timeline. He's still on the dribble. It goes to the corner to Tom Highland. Back out to Randy Ryder. Ryder moves to the left to Highland. Highland goes up from about 20 foot. It's short. John McDevitt gets the rebound. He clears it out to Ryder. Ryder fires from the head of the key. It's no good. Rebound comes off in the hands of Mount Pulaski. Quickly down court is the Hilltoppers. Clemens has it. He's going to drive all the way, and he's fouled by John Dean. That's number 2 on Dean. It'll be out of bounds, Mount Pulaski. It's 40-30 in favor of the Sullivan Redskins. The trigger man for Mount Pulaski will be Mason. He's looking inside now. It goes way out to Clemens, and Clemens almost loses that ball. Now he passes it back out to Mason. Back out to Clemens. Clemens is going to fire from 18. It is no good. Rebound Tom Highland. Highland has the ball. He's being bothered in the backcourt. He hands off to Randy Ryder. Ryder with the basketball. He's being bothered in the backcourt. He's having trouble, and he double dribbles the basketball. It'll be Mount Pulaski's ball. Sullivan with the 10-point lead as Clemens has the ball. Clemens to Mason. Mason fires from deep in the corner. No good. Randy Ryder gets the rebound. He tips it out to McDevitt. McDevitt clears it to Tom Highland. Highland with the ball in the backcourt. Way down the court to McDevitt. McDevitt's on the right wing. He's with the dribble. Now back out to Ryder. To Highland, rather. To Ryder. Ryder between the circles. To the left-hand side of McDevitt. McDevitt way across court to Highland. Highland's going to jump from 10 foot. He hit it. It's 42-30 in favor of the Redskins. Gives McDevitt an assist. As quickly comes Clemens with the basketball. He goes up along the baseline. He's covered, no good. Tom Highland has the ball. It goes to Mike Wildman. Back to Highland. It comes to Ryder. They're still in the backcourt, but so far there's no problem. Ryder to Highland. Highland takes it across the timeline to Ryder. Ryder between the circles. It goes to John Dean. Dean with the basketball along the baseline to McDevitt. Way out to Randy Ryder. Ryder with the ball at the head of the key. It's 42-30 in favor of Sullivan. Ryder has the ball to Tom Highland on the left wing. It goes under to McDevitt. McDevitt goes up for a shot, and he's fouled. He's fouled by Mike Lowe. McDevitt's going to be shooting too. John McDevitt hitting 71% from the line this year. So far tonight, John has a total of 4 points as he scored 2 baskets late in the first half of play. He's bouncing the ball. He's eyeing the hoop. It's on its way. It's good. 43-30 in favor of the Redskins. As McDevitt gets another one. He's bouncing the ball. 4:09 to go. It's on its way. This one is also good. 44-30 in favor of the Redskins. Cyrillic has that ball way down the court to Mike Lowe. Lowe in the corner to Mason. Mason fires from the corner. No good. Rebound goes to Cyrillic, and he's fouled by Mike Wildman. It'll be out of bounds, the Hilltoppers. Sullivan with a 14-point lead with 1/2 of the third quarter gone. Mason inbounds the ball, and it's a no good rebound. No good. It's good this time as Victor Clark got his own rebound and scored. Ryder has it. It goes to Highland. Highland's across the timeline. He picks it up, and it comes to... No! That's not right because they call him over and back. But Wildman was across the line before he got the ball. Okay, that's the call anyway, fans, as Mount Pulaski has the ball. Cyrillic has it. Cyrillic to the side to Mason. Mason lost the ball. Oh my, I don't understand it. Mike Lowe has it. Cyrillic has it. Lowe has it. It goes inside to Clemens. Clemens fires, it's good. It's 44-34. It goes to Tom Highland. Highland's across the timeline. He's in the free throw area. He's going to drive for the lay-in. He puts it in the air. It's no good. And there's a foul, and the foul is on Tom Highland. And so far, Jim, in the last minute of play, we have gotten some bad breaks. It's now Pulaski's ball. 3:22 to go in the third quarter. It's 44-34 in favor of the Redskins as Jeff Clemens brings the ball up. He hands off to Mason at the head of the key. And Clemens has moved to the inside now, fans. The ball's deflected. Mason has it. Lowe has it. It goes in. It's back out to Lowe, and they nail Randy Ryder that time. I think we need a timeout, fans, and we're getting it. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, we're back here at Griswold Center where the Sullivan Redskins lead by 10 points with 3:08 to go in the third quarter of play. We have the same lead that we had at halftime, but the last couple of minutes, it has been all Mount Pulaski. Sullivan had a 14-point lead at one time and the basketball. Mount Pulaski has cut into that 14-point lead. It's a 10-point lead, and Mount Pulaski will be at the line. It'll be Victor Clark, the 6'4" senior, at the line. He'll be shooting 1-1 as he was fouled by Randy Ryder. Ryder has 3 fouls on him, and we can ill afford to lose Ryder. Victor Clark at the line. The 6'4" senior is there for the third time tonight. He has 1 out of 3 so far. Bounces the ball. This one is no good. Rebound, Tom Highland. He clears it to Ryder. Ryder's in the backcourt being bothered by Mason. It goes to Tom Highland. Highland he's taking now inside to John Dean in the center, and Dean clears it back out to Highland. Highland way outside now to Randy Ryder. Ryder's moving to his left. He's being guarded there by Cyrillic. And now Ryder has it. He's fouled. He's fouled by Cyrillic. That's only the second foul on the Hilltoppers, as Sullivan has committed 5 fouls during this quarter. Still Sullivan's basketball. The ball is going to, Highland's the trigger man that comes into John Dean, back to Tom Highland. Highland's being 2-time now Now he clears it off to Randy Ryder. Ryder moves from his left to right. Now he's into the free throw area. It goes to Highland. Highland goes along the baseline. He fakes his man, and he is fouled. He's fouled by Jeff Clemens. That's 3 fouls on the Hilltoppers. It'll still be out of bounds, Sullivan. We have now 2:33 to go in the quarter. Tom Highland will be the trigger man along the baseline underneath the Sullivan Redskin basket. Highland is going to way out to Randy Ryder. Ryder fakes and travels with the basketball. It'll be Mount Pulaski's ball as Mason brings it up across the timeline. Quickly, he's looking inside to, to the side now to Lowe. Lowe back out to Mason, to the corner to Lowe. It goes inside, almost lost Tom Highland, almost stole the ball. It was knocked away from Victor Clark, but Tom couldn't control it, and he lost it out of bounds. It'll be inbound to Mount Pulaski. It goes way inside, outside to Victor Clark, way across to Mason. Mason goes up for a shot, and Tom Highland committed the foul. Tom Highland committed a foul as he was trying to get to Mason, and for Tom Highland, that is number 4. And Highland is going to have to play very careful basketball. Roger Burchard is getting ready to come into a basketball game in place of Tom Highland. And that is a tough break for the Sullivan Redskins because we need Highland's rebounding and ball handling and shooting in there, but he still has to sit down for a while because of that foul. He was trying to get to Mason along the baseline, and they had set a screen, and Mike Lowe set the screen, and Highland did run over him. As there's a violation, as Mason steps into the circle, it's going to be Sullivan's basketball. So now the Redskins get a break. It comes into Randy Ryder, and Ryder has the ball deep. It goes to Dean. Dean to Burchard. Burchard back to Ryder. Ryder way across to Wildman. Wildman is being 2 times, and he has the ball stolen. Way ahead to Mike Lowe. Mike Lowe goes to the lay, and it's good. 44-36 as the press is hurting the Redskins. Roger Burchard loses the ball out of bounds. Lyle Miller is going to come into the ball game for the Sullivan Redskins as it's 44-36. It goes to Cyrillic, to Mason. Clemens has the basketball. He drives, but he's all covered. Now he goes up for a shot. He has the ball blocked as John Dean gets the ball. Burchard with the rebound. Randy Ryder has the ball in the backcourt now. He has the ball deflected. Burchard has it. It goes to Ryder. Ryder way down the court to McDevitt. McDevitt now passes the ball back to Ryder. Sullivan with an 8-point lead. And we have a foul as Ryder was attempting to feed McDevitt along in the baseline. He was fouled. That's the 4th foul on the Hilltoppers, so it will be out of bounds Sullivan with 1:24 to go in the quarter. Sullivan leads 44-36, and it is the Redskins basketball. McDevitt, Wildman now is going to be the trigger man as Sullivan's setting up something at midcourt. And we've got to come and meet that ball, Jim. Okay, it comes into Dean, back to McDevitt, and McDevitt traveled with the basketball. The Redskins have been guilty of a number of turnovers, especially this third quarter of play. 1:20 to go in the quarter, 44-36 as Mason has the ball. Out to Cyrillic. It's inside to Clemens. Clemens goes up for a shot, and he's fouled, and the foul is on John Dean. And Clemens was holding Dean off with one hand, shooting with the other, but he's still going to be at the line shooting too. Clemens will be at the line. There's 1:11 to go in this third quarter of play. Sullivan does lead by 8 points. It's 44-36. As Clemens at the line so far tonight, Clemens has a total of 15 points. He'll be shooting 2. A little timeout on the court as Randy Ryder wants to tie his shoelaces. The Mount Pulaski fans boo that just a little bit over there, Jim. Okay, Clemens is at the line. He's going to be shooting 2 shots. If the first one's on its way, it's good. 44-37 in favor of the Sullivan Redskins as Clemens does get a second one. He puts it on its way. It's also good. Wildman with the basketball. Wildman comes in to Miller. Miller threw it away. To go in the quarter as it goes to the side to Mason, to the corner to Lowe, back out to Mason as Tom Highland's getting ready to come back in the ballgame. It goes in. John Dean steals the basketball. They tried to feed the post and Dean stole the basketball. Ryder now has it. He's in the backcourt. He's being bothered and he was fouled by Cyrillic. That's the 5th foul, so I believe this time we're going to go to the line as Randy Ryder is hitting on 75% from the line this year. Tom Highland is back in the ball game. And Coach Wagner wants to talk to Highland, and I think he's suggesting that he play it nice and cozy out there because we don't want to lose Tom Highland. Randy Ryder's at the line. He'll be shooting 2. 1 and 1, rather. He missed the first one. Rebound, Clemens. 44-38 with 50 seconds to go. It goes to the corner to Mason. Mason's looking inside. It goes now to Mike Lowe. Mike Lowe fires from the outside. It's no good. He gets his own rebound. No good. Rebound inside. Shot good. Wayne Clark scored from inside. Randy Ryder has it. Ryder to Wildman. Wildman way up the court to McDevitt. McDevitt down the left baseline. Now he clears it out to Randy Ryder. With 25 seconds to go, Sullivan has a 4-point lead. It goes to Tom Highland. Highland takes his man. He's going to pass it way back out now. Close inside to Wildman. Wildman underneath. It's good. And there's a foul, but no basket. With 15 seconds to go, Wildman got that ball underneath and scored, but he was fouled before he got the ball in the hoop. It'll be a 1 and 1 for Mike Wildman. 44-40 as Mount Pulaski has come back from a 44-30 deficit to a 44-40 deficit. Mount Pulaski has scored 10 straight points. Wildman eyes the hoop. He puts it on his way. It's good. He broke the string. Mike Wildman with his first point, but boy, it was a big one. He broke the scoring string of Mount Pulaski. Wildman gets the second one. Mike's hitting 57% from the line. This one's on its way. It's no good. Rebound Clemens. Way up the court to Cyrillic. Cyrillic picks up the ball to Lowe. With 11 seconds, 10 seconds to go. Lowe has it. It goes to the corner. They're trying to feed Clemens inside. Lowe has it with 4 seconds. 3 seconds. He puts it in the air. It's no good. Rebound tip. No good. The time runs out. There's no basket. They scored, but it was no basket. The corner in. 45-40 Sullivan. Okay, Jim, I don't know if I can take another quarter of this. Okay, the boys are coming out on the court. The Sullivan Redskins are out there. Dean, Wildman, McDevitt, Ryder, and Highland. And the Mount Pulaski Toppers are still getting. We're just about ready for this final 8 minutes of play. Here come the Hilltoppers. It's Dean versus Clement at the center court. Clemens hit one as he was fouled. I'll explain that. All right, Mount Pulaski gets the ball. Clemens was fouled just before time ran out. He made one, missed the second one, so it is 45-41. Lowe has the ball. It goes to Mason, to the corner to Lowe. Lowe with the ball way over to, now Lowe has it. It's tipped away out of bounds. It's Mount Pulaski's basketball. Mike Wildman got a hand on the ball and tipped it out of bounds, so it will be Mount Pulaski's ball. 7:26 to go. It's 45-41 as Clemens has the ball deep in the corner. He has the ball moving into the free throw area, moving along the baseline now. He goes up for a shot, way short. Rebound, no good. Tip goes, and there's a jump ball between Dean and Victor Clark. John Dean will be jumping against Victor Clark at the Mount Pulaski free throw line. 7:35 to go in this basketball game. As, well, the officials are doing a little work now. We're ready. The ball's in the air. Dean gets the tip. It goes to Wildman. Wildman has that ball knocked out of his hands, but it's knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Sullivan's basketball. If Sullivan can beat this press band, we can beat Mount Pulaski, as I said all year. It goes to center court to Dean. It goes up to McDevitt. McDevitt way down the court to Highland. Highland has it, makes the move. He goes up for a short jumper, and he's fouled by Clemens. He's fouled by Victor Clark instead, as Highland will be at the line shooting 2. Tom Highland's hitting 80% for the year as he's averaging 16.7 points per ball game. He's going to be at the line shooting too. So far tonight, Tom Highland has 12 points. He hits the first one. He may not brag about that one, Jim, but it rolled around and finally dropped in. He gets the second one. This one's on its way. It's tipped. 47-41. 6-point Sullivan lead. Quickly down court is Mount Pulaski. Lowe has the ball in the corner to Mason. Mason gets set. He fires. It's good. 47-43 as Randy Ryder has the ball in the backcourt to Dean. Dean has the ball to Wildman. Back to Ryder. Ryder to Dean as Dean now has the basketball along the baseline to Highland. Highland fires from 20. It's short. Rebound Mount Pulaski. 47-43 Sullivan lead as here comes Mount Pulaski. Mason has the basketball. Now Cyrillic. Cyrillic to Clemens. Clemens fires from way outside. No good. Tom Highland gets the rebound. Only he was standing on the baseline. It's going to be Mount Pulaski's ball. 6:49 to go in the basketball game. Sullivan with a 4-point lead, but Mount Pulaski has the ball. Clemens has it. As Clemens tried to feed Mike Lowe, it was knocked away and out of bounds by John McDevitt. Mike Lowe is the trigger man. It comes into Clemens. Clemens has that ball in the corner. Back out to Lowe. Lowe is moving toward his right. Now he picks it up. It comes inside. They're looking as, let's see, there's a whistle and there's a travel on Victor Clark. Victor Clark traveled with the basketball. It's Sullivan's ball. 6:39 to go. Sullivan with a 4-point lead as Wildman has the ball. He's looking now. He comes into Randy Ryder. Ryder's being two-timed, and now it comes to Wildman. Wildman dribbling with the ball. It comes to Ryder. Ryder now way down the court to McDevitt as McDevitt holds it up. He dribbles, passes back to Ryder, and it's stolen out of bounds. It's going to be Sullivan's basketball. It was stolen, but the official was in the way, and the boy stepped out of bounds, so it's going to be Sullivan's ball. The press is bothering the Redskins a little bit, and we need to break that press for a couple of quick baskets. It comes into Ryder in the backcourt. Randy's dribbling it toward the right. Now he's across the timeline to McDevitt, back out to Ryder, to the left-hand side to Highland. Highland looking back out to Randy Ryder. Ryder with the ball. It comes into John Dean to Highland along the left wing. Highland back out to Randy Ryder. Ryder with the ball. He moves inside. Now he's moving to his right. He's being bothered there by Lowe. It comes into Dean. Dean fires from the free throw line. He hit it. It's 49-43 as John Dean hit one from inside. Lowe has the basketball. Lowe is looking along the baseline, almost traveled with the ball. Now Mason has it. Mason fires from outside. He missed this one. And Black Wildman gets the rebound, and he's fouled by Clemens. We're going to walk the length of the court. Mike Wildman will be at the line. So far tonight, Mike has hit 1 out of 2, but he's come off with 7 big rebounds. And he just picked off another one right there. Well, I don't know who's going to be at the line. Now Dean has moved to the line. Okay, Dean was the guy that was fouled. That's the reason Wildman got the rebound, I guess. Okay, John Dean at the line. Dean has 18 points. He's bouncing the ball. Eyes the hoop. It's on its way. Good. Nothing but the net. It's 50-43. Sullivan has pulled back out to a 7-point lead as Dean gets another one. This one is on its way. No good. Rebound. The shot far. Wildman put it up. No good. Rebound. Wildman has the basketball. And there's a travel. And it's going to be whose ball? Sullivan's basketball. Wildman took that ball out of the kid's hand as he was traveling with it and laid it in, but it is Sullivan's basketball. 50-43. As they're looking inside, Highland goes to Randy Ryder. Ryder fires from the baseline. Good! It's 52-43. Jeff Clemens, the off-fielder, brings that ball down. Way ahead to Bill Mason. Mason fires from 30. It's no good. Rebound Randy Ryder. Ryder dribbling around in the backcourt. He's being two-timed to Tom Highland across the timeline. Highland now has the ball, picks it up and hands back out to Ryder. Sullivan with the lead. John Dean fires. No good. He's fouled. Dean is fouled by Victor Clark. He'll be at the line shooting 2. So far tonight, Dean has 19 points. That's 4 or 5 fouls, Jim, on Clark.
That's 4
fouls on Clark. There's timeout on the court. We'll be back after a word from one of our fine sponsors.
52-43, Lee. This is quite a ball game. You think you're going to make it through these last 5 minutes and 20 seconds?
I'll make it, Jim. I'll make it if it kills me. Okay, it's going to be John Dean at the line when time resumes. Both teams are gathered around their coaches. There go the Hilltoppers, and Sullivan still talking it up for. Now they're breaking as John Dean will be at the line. He has 18 points, 19 points on the evening. And he's come off with a few rebounds, too. Not as many as usual, but he's battling some big kids in there. John Dean will get 2 free throws. He's bouncing the ball, big free throws. It's on its way short. Dean will get another one. This one's on its way. This one is good. 53-43. Sullivan has their 10-point lead back as Mike Lowe brings the ball up. 5:18 to go. Lowe goes in the corner to Mason. Back out to Lowe. They're looking for Clements inside, and they went inside. He had it stolen. Now he has it. He goes up from 15. It's good. Clements hit with men all around him. Randy Ryder has it. It goes into Dean to McDevitt, and Sullivan has broken the press. McDevitt back out to Ryder. It's 53-45 as Ryder is being two-timed. Now it goes to McDevitt. Back out to Ryder. Ryder way across court to Highland. Highland fakes his man. Now he passes it back out to Randy. Back to Highland. Highland's looking inside. Now he backs out to Ryder. There's 4:42 to go. Highland has it. Inside to Dean. Dean takes it to the hoop. No good. Rebound. No good. Rebound. No good. As Mount Pulaski comes out with a basketball. Quickly down court is Mason. Mason deep in the corner. It goes back out to Lowe. Lowe is looking inside. He goes to Mason in the corner. Mason goes inside to Clements. Clements is being three-timed back out to Mason. Mason fires from deep in the corner and hit it. 53-47, a 6-point Sullivan Redskin lead. It goes to Tom Highland. Highland takes it across the timeline. He's in at the free throw area. Now he's dribbling along the baseline. Now he picks up the ball. Back out to Randy Ryder. Sullivan with a 6-point lead. There's 4 minutes to go. Randy Ryder into the free throw area. He goes up for a short jumper. He hit it. It's 55-47. Fans, if I sound excited, it's because I am excited. 3:58 to go in the basketball game as Clements has the ball. Cyrillic has it. They're looking for Clements. Cyrillic has it bothered. Now way across court to Mason. Mason fires from outside. It's no good. Rebound, John Dean. Dean clears it off to Randy Ryder. Sullivan with an 8-point lead as Ryder has the basketball, and he was fouled by Mason. With 3:41 to go, Randy Ryder is going to be at the line shooting a 1-and-1. Ryder's a fine free throw shooter. He's 75% from the line. He's getting 51% from the field, Jim, and he's hit better than that this afternoon, or this evening, or whatever you want to call it. Randy Ryder will be at the line. So far tonight, Randy has a total of 14 points. He eyes the hoop. It's on its way. 15 points for Randy Ryder. He gets another one. 56-47 in favor of the Redskins. Ryder eyes the hoop. It's on its way. It's no good. Rebound. Rebound comes off in the hands of Cyrillic. Cyrillic quickly up across. It's to Mason in the corner. Mason is quickly covered there. He goes way back out too low. To Mason in the corner. They're looking for Clements inside, but there's no opening as Clements is really being covered. It goes into the big boy. It goes up. Good. He hit it. The big boy, in that case, is Wayne Clark. Way up court to Tom Highland. Highland takes it across the timeline. He's at the free throw area along the baseline to Dean. Dean takes it to the basket. He puts it in. It's good. Beautiful basketball. Highland fed Dean, and Dean took it to the big man. It's 58-49. 3 minutes to go, and Clements has that ball stolen. It's knocked out of bounds, lost out of bounds. Sullivan's basketball. Clemens is a frustrated all-stater out there right now, fans. They're trying to feed him on the inside, and Sullivan continually blocks that center. McDevitt has it in the backcourt. It goes to Wildman to Ryder. Ryder has the ball way across court to McDevitt, along the baseline to Highland. Highland fires from the baseline. It's no good. Rebound, John Dean. He fires, no good. Rebound comes off in the hands of Mason. Sullivan falls quickly back on defense. It's Mike Lowe across the timeline. He has the ball. He's working, and he's fouled. No. All right, Tom Holland had position, and Wayne Clark was trying to break for the basket, and he ran over Tom Holland as there's timeout on the court.
58-49, Lee. We have 2:44 remaining, and Coach Larry Wagner has the Redskins over on the sideline, and I think we can look for nothing but a good shot from the Redskins from here on out.
Hey, let's don't stop shooting, Jim.
We don't want to stop shooting completely, but if we can get Johnny Dean loose underneath and let him draw a few fouls.
Well, the way Highland and Ryder score, I don't want them to stop shooting. We have almost 3 minutes to go, and if we continue to fire the good shots, we're going to win this basketball game. If we start holding the ball and making a few mistakes, it could go the other way. So it will be out of bounds as Mike Wildman inbounds the ball to Randy Ryder. Ryder curves it to Wildman. It goes to Dean. Dean almost has the ball stolen. It goes to Ryder. Ryder quickly up court, way down court to Tom Highland. Highland makes a move. He's going to drive underneath to Wildman, and Wildman traveled with the ball. Okay, he did call the travel. I thought there was a foul call first, and so did Wagner, but it's the Hilltoppers' ball. It's 58-49. It's Jeff Clements now has moved to the outside. Cyrillic has it into the corner to Hahn. Back out to Cyrillic. Now Clements is back on the inside. As they're trying to feed Clements, it goes to Cyrillic. Cyrillic fires. It's no good. Rebound underneath to Lowe. Lowe fires. Bounces. No good. Rebound comes off to Hahn. Hahn fires. No good. Rebound Clements. He fires. It is good. 2:11 to go. It's 58-50 in favor of the Redskins. The ball comes into Randy Ryder. He stepped out of bounds. It'll be Mount Pulaski's basketball as Randy Ryder got that ball inbounds but then stepped out of bounds. It goes way out to Lowe. Lowe in the corner to Mason. Mason fires. It's no good. Rebound Randy Ryder. Ryder's fouled by Clements. We're walking the length of the court. It's 58-51 in favor of the Sullivan Redskins. We have 1:58 to go in the basketball game. Randy Ryder's going to be at the line. Randy so far tonight has a total of 15 points. He's one under his average, and let's pick up that average and one right now. We'll play for free throws by Randy Ryder. 1:58 to go, fans, in this basketball game. Ryder's bouncing the ball. He eyes the hoop. It's on its way. It is good. He gets another one. 59-51, an 8-point Sullivan lead. Ryder has the basketball. It's on its way. This one is good. Quickly down court comes Cyrillic of the Hilltoppers. The Sullivan Redskins are on the verge of an upset. Mike Lowe has it. It goes to Cyrillic. Cyrillic looking inside, but it is stolen by Ryder. Ryder dribbles the ball across the timeline. Way down to McDevitt. McDevitt puts it in the air. It's good, and he's fouled. I'll let the fans tell the story.
Do a little floor work out there, Lee. They've got another foul. Johnny got knocked to the floor by that big Steve Hahn, but he put that basket in. We got a 62-51 ball game, and Johnny McDevitt at the free throw line trying to complete a three-point play.
Okay, so far McDevitt has 8 points, and that's just about his average. He's averaging 8.9, so if he gets this one, he's got his average. It's on its way. It is good. 12-point lead for the Sullivan Redskins with 1:40 to go as Clements is maybe playing his last high school basketball game. He goes up for a shot and banks it in. Comes into Randy Ryder. Ryder way across court to McDevitt. McDevitt takes it across the timeline. He's on the dribble. Picks up the ball. He's being two-timed. He bounces out to Randy Ryder. It goes to Tom Highland. 10-point Sullivan lead with 1:21 to go. Ryder has the ball. He has the ball knocked away from him, almost stolen, and he's fouled by Mason. With 1:17 to go, Randy Ryder is going to be at the line shooting a 1-and-1 as he was fouled by Mason. The Sullivan fans are on their feet.
Two big free throws, Lee.
Okay, Ryder's at the line. It's on its way. It's good. No doubt. I had no doubt, Jim.
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt. 64-53. Ryder does get a second one. 65-53. 1:16 to go. Lowe has it. Lowe is trying to feed Clements on the inside. It goes to Mason. Mason fires from the outside. He hit it at 65-55. It goes to McDevitt. McDevitt saves it to Highland. Highland across the timeline. There's 1 minute to go as Highland has it. He's going to drive for the lay-in. It's no good. Rebound. Tom Highland commits the charge. Block blocking foul.
Right.
Okay. Good deal.
You like that?
Well, I missed one, fans. There's timeout on the court, and we're going to keep it here this time. Jim, I haven't seen a Sullivan crowd so wild in my life. I don't know how many people this place holds, but half of it's filled with Sullivan fans. Every one of them are on their feet. Three-fourths of them have their hands in the air chanting, "We're number one." And I'll tell you, the way we played this evening, we could well be as good as anybody in the state. Now, Pulaski is rated number 2 going into this ball game, and the Redskins are going to upset them. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
10-point lead with 56 seconds remaining, Lee, and that's a lot of points to make up. We have 4 fouls on Tom Highland. If Tom can stay out of foul trouble for the next 56 seconds and help Randy Ryder work against that press out front, the Redskins are on their way to an upset victory. Tom Highland will be at the free throw line shooting a 2-shot foul. He was fouled in the act of shooting by Steve Hahn.
Excuse me, Jim, I couldn't hear you.
Tom Highland has 14 points. He's looking for point number 15 and 16. The official is ready to hand you the ball, and here we go. 56 more seconds of exciting basketball.
Highland puts the ball on its way. It bounces good. Highland gets another.
Tom Highland keeps the ball.
Sullivan lead. 53 seconds to go. Mason fires from deep in the corner. He hit it, but it doesn't make a bit of difference. 10-point Sullivan lead. At the ball, Randy Ryder has it. He's being bothered in the backcourt. Dean has it. He's fouled. We're going to go to the other end of the court. Sullivan with the 10-point lead. John Dean's going to be at the line. There's going to be an important announcement right after this ball game, fans, so stay tuned. We're going to be talking to Coach Wagner, and I think Coach will get up here in a hurry. I hope he gets up here in a hurry. John Dean's at the line. He puts it on its way. It's good. John Dean scores from the line, 68 to 57.
23, Lee.
Dean has 23 points. It's 23 points that was in and out, but Clemens has it way down the court to Hahn. Hahn along the baseline to... stolen anyway by Randy Ryder. Doesn't matter. He cleared it to McDevitt. McDevitt dribbling the ball way ahead to Highland. Highland with the basketball. He picks it up. McDevitt has it. He's fouled, and John McDevitt will go to the line. McDevitt's been hitting from the line tonight, too. 68-57, Sullivan. The Redskins are going to Champaign.
Well, afternoon, Lee.
You better believe it. We're going to Champaign.
That's a good deal.
Okay, McDevitt has the ball. He's bouncing it now. Eyes the hoop. It's on its way. It is no good. He gets another one. That was an intentional foul. The reason John gets the second one. 68 to 57. McDevitt bouncing the ball. It's on its way. It is good. 69-57. 12-point Sullivan lead. As the Hilltoppers have been unseated. The ball is stolen by McDevitt. Stolen back as McDevitt going after the basketball commits the foul. But that's all right. A lot of scrap out there, and he can foul like that anytime.
That was an aggressive foul, Lee. We'll give you that one.
Okay, Roger Bush is coming into the ball game as Mike Wildman is going to sit down. Mike Wildman's played a fine basketball game. He's getting a standing ovation. 19 seconds to go in this ball game. Sullivan's heading toward the assembly hall. And it won't be long. 19 seconds to go in the basketball game. Mike Lowe will be at the line. He's looking at the scoreboard with a forlorn look on his face. Sky King is, wait a minute. King, you can't come into a ball game. King was trying to get into a ball game. All right, Lowe fires. It's good. Now he can come in. He's coming in for Tom Highland, and Highland is going to get a standing ovation. Highland and Clements shake hands. Highland's holding up one finger. I guess if you beat the number 2 team, Jim, you've got to have a little confidence out there. Lowe gets another one. It's 69 to 58. It's on its way. It's good. 69-59. There's timeout on the court. Ryder has the ball. He goes way up the court to McDevitt. McDevitt dribbling down the left side. He's still on the dribble. He hands off to Ryder. Ryder with the ball. He's dribbling it. Now he's looking to McDevitt. There's 6 seconds to go. McDevitt to Ryder. Ryder fires from about 30 feet out. As time runs out, it's 69-59 Sullivan. We'll be back with Coach Larry Wagner in just a very few minutes, fans.
Sullivan Redskins, a 69-59 upset victory over the Mount Pulaski Hilltoppers for the Supersectional title here at Griswold Center in Decatur, Millikan University. We'll see you at Champaign tomorrow afternoon. Fans, Lee?
Yeah, Jim, we have an important announcement to make. Here's Mary Lane.
Well, Lee, I would like to right now proclaim tomorrow Sullivan Redskin Day at Champaign and ask that all merchants to let their employees off if they feasibly can to let them attend the ball game. The tickets will be on sale. There'll be further announcements over the station, but tomorrow is Sullivan Redskin Day in Champaign, so let's give them a big turnout.
Thanks a lot, Mayor. Okay, Jim. Coach Wagner did go downstairs with his boys first, but I think he'll be up here in short order. You have a rundown on the scoring, Jim?
Okay. 69-59 again, the Sullivan Redskins over the Hilltoppers from Mount Pulaski. For the 69 points for the victorious Redskins, Randy Ryder with another real fine basketball game to his credit. 19 points for Randy Ryder, and Randy was 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6 in that last quarter from the free throw line for the Redskins. So real fine free throw shooting by Randy Ryder. Tom Harlan with 16 points, and Tom was 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter from the free throw line. And as you probably will notice as we go through these, it was the free throw shooting of the Sullivan Redskins in the fourth quarter when the Hilltoppers were forced to foul that carried the 10-point lead for the Redskins. So 16 points for Tom Highland. Johnny Dean, the Redskins' leading scorer with 23 points, and he was also in double figures in the rebounding department with 13. So a real fine ball game for John Dean, the Redskins' leading scorer in the Supersectional Championship with his 23 points. John McDevitt in double figures with 10, and John McDevitt was 4 out of 5 from the free throw line, also to keep up the fine free throw shooting for the Sullivan Redskins. Big Mike Wildman had 1 point. He was 1 out of 2 from the free throw line, and he played a whale of a defensive ball game and a whale of a rebounding ball game on that back line for the Sullivan Redskins. So it's 69 points for the Redskins, 23 Johnny Dean, 19 Randy Ryder, 16 Tom Highland, and 10 John McDevitt. So balanced scoring, 4 out of the 5 starters for the Redskins in double figures. For the 59 points for the Toppers from Mount Pulaski, All-Stater Jeff Clements with 24 points. He was the game's leading scorer on the evening with his 24 points. Bill Mason, the other main scorer for Coach Ed Butkovich's Hilltoppers, had 14 points. He scored 6 in the first half and 8 in the fourth quarter for the Toppers. So 14 points for Bill Mason. Mike Lowe, the 6-foot senior forward, had 10 points. He was in double figures for the Toppers also. Victor Clark, the big 6'4 center, had 5 points. Wayne Clark, 6'4 brother, sophomore, with 2 points, 1 field goal. Mike Serlick with 2 points, 1 field goal in the third quarter. And Steve Hahn, 2 points, 1 field goal in the second quarter. So that's the 59 points for the Toppers from Mount Pulaski. 24 for Jeff Clements, 14 for Bill Mason, and 10 for Mike Lowe. 3 of the starters in double figures for the Toppers from Mount Pulaski. 69-59 victory for the Sullivan Redskins. We'll be back after you listen to this.
2 minutes in front of 7 o'clock at WSAK Sullivan Arthur. Now back to Jim Bales and Lee Griesmer at Decatur.
69-59, the Redskins over the Hilltoppers from Mount Pulaski. We might take a quick look before we talk to Coach Larry Wagner on the setup for the basketball game on Friday afternoon. It'll be Friday. The first ball game at 12:15 will be St. Anthony and Dakota in the quarterfinals at Champaign. The second ball game on Friday will be at 1:45 approximately, and that will be Havana against our victorious Sullivan Redskins. So you fans can start making arrangements for Friday afternoon. We see Coach Wagner is here, so after this word from Mr. Drumstick, we'll have a word with Larry. Okay, now Coach Larry Wagner, if you've got a few more words, we'd like to hear from you.
Oh, Coach, this is absolutely great. I'll just turn it over to you for a little bit.
Well, I really don't know what to say. I'm drained at this point, but probably the biggest factor going into this ball game is, like I told you before, these kids and the coaching staff, we believe that it has to be one heck of a ball club to beat us, and we were not awed by Mount Pulaski as the papers made them sound like they were superstars. They were a good ball club, but we went out and we did a number on them, and probably the biggest factor is that the boys were not afraid of them, and I can't say enough about them. They're not big. They play their hearts out. They're good shooters. Randy Ryder, Tom Highland are scorchers from the perimeter. Randy started off a little cold, but it didn't take him long to get warm. Johnny Dean was nothing but a horse inside. He, again, controlled it, and I think one time he had 2 or 3 block shots in the same series, and they ended up picking up the loose one and putting it in, which could have been really a letdown, but the kids came back from it. I don't know what to say. They're just a heck of a group of kids, and boy, I can't be any more proud of them.
Oh, boy, I remember the 2 block shots in a row. It was just beautifully done, I'll tell you. And they did pick it up and get a garbage basket off of it, but there wasn't any letdown. The kids just battled right on through to the end. Was there any point until the final buzzer sound that you felt like we had it all sewed up, Larry?
Nope, not at any time. We knew Mount Pulaski could come down and run 10 to 15 straight ones on us because they're good shooters. They throw that press at you, and if you relax at all, you're going to get a turnover. So I thought our kids, though, handled their press quite well, quite easily. We had a couple, 2 or 3 turnovers, but they weren't any bad execution. It's just a matter of turning around and seeing a defensive man and traveling, and it wasn't too bad a job breaking the press. And that was one thing we were concerned about, is whether we could handle it or not. But the kids are believers. They're believers, and they know that it's going to take one heck of a ball club to do a job on it.
Some of your fans out there, Larry, ordinarily we would break now for a word from Mr. Drumstick, but I don't think Bill Moore will care if I keep you here for just a little bit, or keep it here for a little bit, because I know you're in a hurry. You have other things to do. The breaking of the press is the key, Larry. I'm talking a little bit now, but we broke it beautifully. You came out that second half and made a little bit of an adjustment. You put John Dean in the post, and from then on, there was no problem at all. We had the ball handlers on the outside. Dean hit McDevitt, or he hit Highland, or he hit somebody, and we took the ball right on down. And once we got it down, I'll tell you, the way Dean took that ball to the hoop a couple of times was, well, it sends chills up and down my spine just thinking about it. I'm not kidding you. He took it to those big boys and stuffed it right down their throat.
Yeah, he jumps well. He takes the ball up real strong. He missed one where he took to the basket, and then Johnny McDevitt missed 2 easy rebound shots off of it. But again, we could have let down from that, but we didn't. We came back. We played her pretty hard, and I thought that for a while we would be in a position where we're in foul trouble. Tom Highland picked up 4 fouls on wasn't too good of a call, but anyway, he picked up his 4th foul. I took him out. We turned it over 2 times in a row, and I thought, what the heck? The season's only 8 minutes old, or 8 minutes left to go in the season if we don't leave him in there. So we put him back in. I said, I don't care if the guy gets a layup. You don't even come close to him. And for one time, as aggressive as he is, for one time, he listened to that piece of advice.
There must have been a little bit of mental telepathy there, Larry, because when Tom was sitting on the bench, I said, get Highland back. I didn't say it on the air, buddy. I said, get Highland back in there, and about that time, Highland jumped up, and so we were sure thinking along the same lines. Well, Larry, it's on to Champaign. It's Havana. Havana has a 26-3 club this year. We're going to be the underdog, although I don't know. Shoot, man, we just upset the second-rated team in the state.
I'd just soon be the underdog. Let's be number 8.
I don't think we're going to be. Not after a 10-point victory over Pulaski. Well, we're going to be up there with you, fella. Let's play 1, 2, 3 more ball games.
Sounds good, Lee.
Okay, Larry, you get down and have yourself a good night. Okay. Okay, Jim, any final words?
Well, the only thing, Lee, we do like to relish this 10-point victory, the Redskins over the Hilltoppers. Again, we might mention that the Redskins will be playing the Havana Ball Club, the second game tomorrow afternoon at approximately 1:45. The second ball game on the afternoon program. The first ball game will be another area team, the St. Anthony Bulldogs from Effingham, take on Dakota in the first basketball game. So the Redskins will be in state tournament action at Champaign in the Assembly Hall tomorrow afternoon at about 1:45. That's the second ball game. Lee?
And Jim, we're going to be there for all of them. I just decided we're going to up and call the first ball game, the second one right on through. How's that sound?
That sounds real fine. So all of you fans I know will want to make arrangements to get tickets to watch the Redskins in action in the Assembly Hall. WSAK will bring you all of the basketball games at the Assembly Hall starting Friday.